Welcome back to High Stakes. Elevate your betting game by hitting that subscribe button and ensure you never miss out on our daily content. Want exclusive access to premium betting picks? Join our Patreon. Links are waiting for you in the comment section below. Stay ahead of the game with High Stakes. In today's video, I'm breaking down the NCAAF matchup between Connecticut, UConn, and Syracuse with some professional insights that'll have you feeling confident about your picks. I'm going to walk you through my moneyline pick, spread pick, total game pick, first half prediction, home totals, and away totals. All the key info you need to make the smartest bets. So, grab a seat, let's dive in, and get you ready to make some moves. UConn has made a remarkable turnaround this season, going 7-3 after a tough 3-9 season in 2023. They're currently on a 3-game win streak and have shown they can keep games close, with only one loss by more than 10.5 points week 1. Their defense has been solid, especially recently, and their rushing attack is one of the best in the country, averaging over 200 yards per game. Syracuse, despite having a strong record, has struggled recently, going 2-2 in their last 4 games. Their defense is particularly vulnerable to the run, and UConn's ability to control the clock with their ground game should keep the score tight, making them a solid pick to cover the spread. Take UConn plus 10.5 points, and you can go all the way up 11.5 points. While Syracuse's offense has been productive through the air, led by QB Kyle McCord, their defense has been a major liability, particularly against the run. However, UConn's defensive strength, allowing just 21.3 points per game overall and 17.1 points per game in their last 7 games, should help limit Syracuse's scoring. McCord has struggled with interceptions this season, which could lead to more turnovers and fewer scoring opportunities for the Orange. Additionally, UConn's run-heavy offense will burn a lot of clock, limiting Syracuse's offensive possessions and helping to keep the total points down. Given these factors, the under on 54.5 makes sense. My total pick is under 54.5 points. While Syracuse has been inconsistent, they have the more talented roster compared to UConn. Led by QB Kyle McCord, who has passed for nearly 3,500 yards this season, Syracuse's offense is capable of putting up points when it clicks, especially against a UConn defense that hasn't been tested by a QB of McCord's caliber. Despite their recent struggles, the Orange have the edge in talent and depth. UConn has been strong this season, but they've still struggled on the road. Playing away from home, especially in a tough environment like the Carrier Dome, presents a challenge for a UConn team that doesn't have a dynamic passing attack. Their offense is more dependent on the run game, and Syracuse's defense, while not great, is more likely to adjust at home and limit UConn's rushing game enough to make it hard for them to score. Syracuse has the advantage in talent, motivation, and home field support. While UConn has had a great season and is capable of keeping games close, Syracuse is the more complete team, especially at home. Taking Syracuse on the money line is a smart move, as they should be able to capitalize on their offensive talent and UConn's offensive limitations to get the win. Taking Syracuse on the money line in this matchup is a solid choice. UConn's offense is heavily reliant on its strong rushing attack, averaging over 200 yards per game on the ground. A run-heavy offense tends to eat up clock, limiting the number of possessions for both teams. This will result in fewer scoring opportunities in the first half, making it harder for the total to hit over 27.5 points. UConn's defense has been impressive, allowing just 21.3 points per game on the season, with even better numbers in their last 7 games, 17.1 points per game. They've been particularly good at limiting big plays, which could keep Syracuse from scoring quickly in the first half. While Syracuse's QB Kyle McCord has thrown for over 300 yards in almost every game, his tendency to throw interceptions has slowed their offensive production at times. In the first half, Syracuse may struggle to find rhythm, especially if UConn can control the pace of the game with their ground game. Syracuse's defense has been porous all season, particularly against the run. While this might suggest UConn will score, it also points to a game where possessions are stretched out, and UConn will likely play conservatively to protect a lead, further eating up the clock. Syracuse has been involved in several tight, low-scoring games this season, Their last few games, including those against teams with weaker offenses, saw first-half scores staying under 27.5 points. Given both teams' tendencies to take their time offensively and UConn's solid defense, it's unlikely we'll see a high-scoring first half. With UConn controlling the clock through its run game, a solid defense limiting big plays, and Syracuse's offensive struggles early in games, taking the under 27.5 points for the first half is a smart play. It fits the narrative of a slower-paced, lower-scoring opening half. While Syracuse has had some explosive games, their offense has been inconsistent, especially against quality defenses. QB Kyle McCord, despite throwing for over 3,500 yards, has had a tough time keeping turnovers in check, throwing 12 interceptions this season. These turnovers not only stall drives, but also give UConn's strong defense additional opportunities to limit scoring. UConn has been impressive on defense this season, particularly in recent weeks. They've allowed just 21.3 points per game for the season, and even better, they've given up just 17.1 points per game in their last 7 outings. This defense has improved as the season has progressed, meaning they're likely to be even more effective in limiting Syracuse's scoring chances at home. Syracuse's defense has been one of the worst in FBS, giving up 28.1 points per game and struggling particularly against the run, allowing 156 yards per game. While this impacts UConn's offense, it also means Syracuse often finds themselves in high-pressure situations where they need to score quickly. UConn's defense will likely hold firm in these situations, keeping Syracuse under their usual offensive output. Over the last 4 games, Syracuse has scored 33 points or fewer in each of their losses. Their offense has been prone to stalling, and with UConn's defense being as efficient as it is, it's unlikely Syracuse will break 32.5 points. They simply haven't been consistent enough to hit that mark, especially in a matchup against a solid defensive team. UConn's ball control offense, led by a run-heavy attack, will limit Syracuse's offensive possessions. The fewer possessions Syracuse gets, the less likely they are to score enough points to hit the over on 32.5. UConn's ground game also eats up clock, limiting Syracuse's opportunities to rack up points. Considering Syracuse's offensive inconsistency, UConn's solid defense, and the likelihood of a ball control approach from UConn, taking Syracuse under 32.5 points as their home total is a solid pick. Syracuse simply hasn't shown the ability to consistently score at that level, especially against a defense like UConn's. Given UConn's reliance on the run, their inconsistent quarterback play, and Syracuse's defensive focus on stopping the run at home, under 21.5 points for UConn is a smart pick. Their offense hasn't been explosive enough to hit that mark on the road, and their struggles through the air will make it hard for them to break through Syracuse's defense.